early light. Oh, so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular amongst birds singing out, yeah, through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to Live with Andy on this beautiful Monday night down here in West Texas, right in Lubbock, where Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP, played college ball at. So, tip of the hat to you, Patrick. Congratulations at the big victory last night, and thank you guys all for tuning in one more time. I really do appreciate the constant attention you guys give me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. I hope you guys are starting to get used to the weekly schedule I got going on here. I think I've actually kept solid track of my schedule for the past like three weeks now. I usually don't do that. There'll be some off days. There'll be some switching around, but no, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 o'clock on my YouTube channel at Andy Dybala. Sometimes on my backup at Andy Dybala's Clone. We're live on Twitter. We're live on Facebook, and we're live on Rumble as well. And thank you, Chris Stapleton, for kicking off the show and the Super Bowl last night with that great Star-Spangled Banner performance. And I hope you guys did notice the couple of wokeisms in that national anthem right there. They had like the military members on the ship, and they're like, some of them were dressed in like the colored outfits signifying the rainbow, and then it just happened to be an all women's flyover going over the stadium to kick off the game. And that was one thing I wanted you guys to kind of keep an eye out for the game. I know there like a lot of you guys are conspiracy theorists out there, and like sports and conspiracies don't overlap all the time. And the Super Bowl is one of those big events where everyone watches. So I told you to keep an eye out for the like COVID-19 vaccination commercials, the climate change commercials, the race baiting commercials, and there was a bunch of them. You know, the good old days of just sitting back and listening to the Budweiser frogs, Budweiser. You know, in between the actual gameplay for commercials are long over. The commercials are just like downright not funny, and I think that's because of wokeism in Hollywood. You can't actually like be on the edge of funny anymore. You got to kind of work the middle ground. And yeah, there's always a political agenda everyone has to be pushing, whether it's cars being electric, or or us needing to come together as Americans and as race and different religions. It's all just a different woke message they try to portray at the Super Bowl. And I do have a couple different examples here. I hope you don't mind me going through them. You know, that's kind of what we do here on Live with Andy. And one of them was this ad by Ben Stiller and what was the other? Steve Martin, the other comedian's name. They did this ad for Pepsi, and you know they're drinking Pepsi Zero, and they're like, "Am I acting or am I not acting? Does it taste good or does it not taste good?" And I'm just going to play the commercial right here and kind of and get to what I'm trying to say with this. What my point is.
Stay away from my wife.
Hi, I'm Ben Stiller. My job as an actor is making you believe what you're seeing is real. Louise, will you? The pain is real.
That the cold is real. Don't say that about yourself. I know.
The friendship is real.
The real is real.
But it's not real. It's just acting. Wow, that's like really good. Or was I just acting? Only way to know is to try it for yourself.
See, now take that message right there to the is it good or am I just acting? Now take that message onto this.
Let me take a selfie.
You know, during the pandemic, we saw the media in Hollywood and the pharmaceutical companies, you know, they hired actors for the pushing of the vaccine, a pushing of wearing masks when you go out in public. And, you know, do these actors really believe in this stuff or are they just acting? This is actually like some good examples in this little skit right here someone made.
As we reported earlier, 45% of Americans have received at least one dose of the vaccine against the coronavirus. 33% are fully vaccinated. With countries racing to vaccinate their citizens, smiles are appearing online showing people as they roll up their sleeves. And as Roxana Saberi reports from London, while vaccine selfies may be a new phenomenon, they're also part of a long tradition.
Vaccine, 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 vaccine.
From Dolly singing.
I'm begging of you, please don't hesitate.
Put that needle down.
To Arnold directing. And Mariah squirming. Celebrities are posing for a vaccine selfie, also known as the Vaxie, in this pandemic.
Awesome. Thank you, Nurse Patricia.
I'm tired.
Politicians are also posting online after they roll up their sleeves and, in some cases, unbutton their shirts. Ministers in Greece.
I'm surprised Anthony Weiner didn't take advantage of that opportunity to show his nipple on CBS. But you get the point I'm making. They use these celebrities and these commercials, you know, and that's these advertising companies have known this for a long time. Use the celebrities to push the products because people believe in them for some reason, even though they're just acting, and Pepsi Zero tastes like shit. I don't care what you say. It doesn't taste like the real Pepsi. Give me the bleach purified sugar all day long and that nice carbonated drink. If there's one guilty pleasure I got, it's my soda, you know. But other than that, you know, they use these celebrities to push whatever product they're trying to sell. And you saw Ben Stiller right there. They're using Pepsi Zero, and throughout the past couple years during the Super Bowl ads, they were using celebrities to push COVID-19 vaccines. And it's like, are these guys just acting or are they not? And I got one more little ad here. This is from a couple Super Bowls ago. I just found it pretty funny because it's topical to what's going on today, but it's the FTX ad from from last year's Super Bowl with Larry David when they were selling Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX token. Here you go. This was like a $7 million ad during the Super Bowl.
I call it the wheel.
I don't think so. What does it do?
The rules.
Yeah, so does a bagel, okay? A bagel you can eat. One of the worst ideas I've ever heard.
Brother David, behold, the fork.
I got 10 forks right here, baby! Am I right? My lord? What is it? A toilet, my lord. A toilet? You expect this court to do its business inside? We're not animals. We go outside like humans.
It's coffee. It's new.
Oh, it's awful.
You don't like it?
I'm all jittery and feel like I got a big job coming on.
Hancock, you sign first.
No king! Gentlemen, have you taken leave of your senses?
The people shall have the right to vote.
Even the stupid ones?
Yes.
Stupid people vote?
Yes.
Some of these are actually pretty funny.
Can I be honest with you? It stinks. Does your wife know what's going on here?
She knows I go to work.
You're wasting your time, and it's sad. You might as well put the dishes in the shower.
All right, I'm going to get to the end.
Like I was saying, it's FTX. It's a safe and easy way to get into crypto.
Yeah, I don't think so. And I'm never wrong about this stuff. Never. Franklin!
So this is what they try to do during the Super Bowl. They try to punish you with woke agenda. As you know, FTX. They laundered money through Ukraine and donated to the Democrats, and they're running $1 million Super Bowl ads. That's and the woke agenda has been present within the major sporting events, the major award shows. You watch TV; it's in all the commercials nowadays. It's just this old tactic the deep state uses to like kind of control your mind subconsciously. You know, you get inundated with these little ads here and there. Next thing you know, you're dyeing your hair pink and cutting your balls off and calling yourself a chick. Yeah, howdy doody. So just make sure when you're watching the big events and the Super Bowls, you just kind of paying attention to the agenda at hand. Don't really get mad at them too much, you know. Just be like, I just can't believe people buy this stuff. And yeah, the average Joe, you know, the people who never got red pilled, they definitely do buy this stuff. What's going on? Hey, Rumble, got 21 people in Rumble right now. What's going on? Say hello in the chat. We got about 13 on YouTube at the moment. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you give me a like. Make sure you give me a subscribe. And yeah, let's take down the deep state together, guys, gals, and guys. You know, how do you like the cowboy hat today, by the way? You know, I don't bust the cowboy hat out very often, but for big victories down here in Lubbock, Texas, you know, Patty Mahomes winning the Super Bowl, bust it out for special occasions. And I don't know if you guys, let's see what else do I got on the schedule. Yes. Woke agenda, blah, blah, blah. Pentagon employees dating app. So I don't know if you guys saw on the news the other day. There's been some stuff going on with our employees within the Defense Department at the Pentagon, you know, And here's a little actual, just so you guys can see the top of the page. A little inspector general. They did an internal audit of our Defense Department employees, and what this article states is that our Pentagon employees were illegally downloading messaging apps, such as, they didn't actually release the app's name, so you kind of have to take a stab at it, like probably the most popular apps out there, Zoom, Telegram, all that, so all those types of Snapchat, all those types of messaging apps were being downloaded on, like, I don't know, I think they're like Apple phones nowadays that our government employees are using, our highly classified, highly secure phones that aren't highly secured or highly classified. If our employees, willfully download a Chinese app by the name of TikTok, that was another app they warned about on this. Like, and our employees were downloading TikTok on their phone, giving backdoor access to the Chinese government and to the doings of some of the employees within our Defense Department. Now, if that isn't a breach of security, and some people don't get fired for this, then all hope is lost at this point. We got Trump with documents in Mar-a-Lago. You got Biden with documents. You got Pence with documents. You got Obama with documents. You got Hunter Biden with documents. You got China having backdoor access to our Defense Department officials' phones. It's just we got spy balloons flying over our country. It's a big giant mess, and these are times when the CIA, the FBI, they would be important institutions within the United States government. You would like to be able to rely on them. You got a Russia-Ukraine war. We got China trying to build the Belt and Road all around the world. They're trying to build ports in Haiti, spy balloons. It's like, you need the CIA, you need the FBI, but no, they're probably the two least trustworthy organizations within our American government. And this just goes to show you that there's a bunch of dummies on the team that don't even know how to follow proper protocol. And they were saying, like, Biden banned some apps and they weren't clear which, and it's like, it's a government issued Defense Department phone. It should just be like cut and dry. You don't download apps on this phone. You have your own personal phone that you use for your daily, so that you pay for. And then you have the one issued to you by the government where there's no TikTok, there's no Zoom, there's no Facebook. It's like, you should be working. Shouldn't be on Grindr trying to pick up dudes. That's what Biden and his team were doing. I'm posting this article in the chat, by the way, for all you article Nazis out there. That, Andy, share your work. You too, Rumble. Here you go. For the first time, I post an article in Rumble. Make sure you guys save that one for the future. Maybe if you're doing your own show, you got your own show in the morning, and you're like, I'd love to have that article. I'd love to steal it from Andy. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. At your service. Before I keep going, I want to say hello to the chat real quick. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We got Norman Smith. Howdy doody, tooty fruity. Howdy, ma'am. I'll pull off some Texas accents here later. Balloon discovered over London Saturday turned out to be Sam Smith at the Brit Awards. I don't know if you guys have seen that picture, but it is a let me pull it up real quick. Sam Smith, Brit Let's see if we can pull it up. At a band. Yeah, there was an LGBTQ, if I can say the proper terminology. There was an LGBTQ plus balloon flying over Britain over the weekend, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, just in time for Black Valentine. Look at, are those supposed to be like hearts? Is he trying to be a cow, or is he just trying to be a Kardashian? You got some nice implants there, Mr. Smith. Can I go pop your balloon? Imagine if you just walked up. How pissed would he be if you just walked up with like a little needle and just went bink and just like unpuffed his shoulder pad. If you want to see rage, you don't know what rage is until you see a pissed off Democrat. Especially at a Trump campaign event. Let's see what else we got here. Mortgage your $1 reparations here. Oh, 5 million. Sorry, my eyes are pretty bad, and this computer screen isn't the best. Tom Gonder. Wow, Tom Gonder. Howdy, Tom. How you doing? The old Tom. We've taken some plane flights together across the country. You know, we've had some good times. Make sure you never stop at a KFC with Tom. You don't get the good chicken. You get the burnt stuff. We've tried many a times. Bad luck. All right. It's good to see some people coming back in that I haven't seen in a while. Speaking of balloons, by the way, I hope you guys know it isn't a Chinese spy balloon. It's actually this company. I didn't find all this out. I just Googled some stuff and figured it out, but other people have figured it out as well on the internet. It's a company by the name of Raven Aerostar. Now here you see in November 23rd, 2021, they won a Defense Department contract to display stratospheric balloon utilities. The DIU will assess the feasibility of using Raven Aerostar stratospheric technology for live military field operations. You know, they're trying to deploy these balloons. You know, what is there a live military operation going on right now that the United States is involved in? I mean, not here in the United States, besides the battle between the YouTube journalists and the shadow government. Not that battle. I'm talking about the NATO, Ukraine, United States Defense Department battle going on with Russia. You know, they're worried about missiles flying over and hitting our homeland here in North America. So they deployed these balloons to kind of monitor for any missile activity, as far as I can tell. Plus, it monitors like soldier movements, tank movement. It's an easy, cheap way to do it. And I believe this is the article. Okay, I do have a little video here also from Raven Aerostar. I wasn't even going to get into this, but here you go.
A flight path is determined to optimize point-to-point navigation. Navigation is achieved by leveraging directional wind patterns in the stratosphere at altitudes 65,000 feet and above. After arriving at an area of interest, Thunderhead balloon systems offer network persistence for up to months at a time. Filling a significant capability gap, Thunderhead balloon systems allow for rapid integration of diverse payloads and sensors, serving a wide range of missions.
intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance.
A military outpost stands with a mission to provide intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance over denied airspace. Raven Aerostar's Thunderhead balloon systems provide a cost-effective and low-risk platform for ISR capabilities at altitudes above traditional air threats. The local commander deploys several Thunderhead balloon systems from the At-Ready constellation, carrying sophisticated ISR sensors to the denied airspace. With navigational and duration capabilities of up to months at a time, the Thunderhead balloon systems provide a powerful, persistent surveillance platform. At stratospheric altitudes, these lighter-than-air platforms can navigate and hover over areas of interest at altitudes unattainable by traditional ISR platforms. Upon receiving information regarding a possible threat, intelligence analysts navigate a Thunderhead balloon system over the area of interest to collect more information. The sensor payload carried by the Thunderhead balloon system quickly detects and classifies the threat. Utilizing real-time communications, the threat parameters are relayed back to the intelligence analyst on the ground. With Thunderstorm, Raven Aerostar's common operating system, balloon performance and sensor intelligence is integrated into existing networks and computer systems for mission coverage.
Scenario. So these videos have actually kind of been deleted off the internet. If you go to Raven Aerostar's like Twitter page, it's been taken down, and it used to be up. And even if you go to their website, here I have it pulled up, there's like a defense and security portion of their website where there used to be a video of their stratospheric surveillance balloon technology that they've been partnering with the Defense Department with, and it's sorry, the videos does not exist. So while this Chinese surveillance balloon theory is being spread across mainstream media, you know, I watch some mainstream media for you guys. I watch the Today Show when I make up in the morning. I'm not proud of it, Hoda and Jenna, but I partake every once in a while. And they are just pushing this balloon from China. Now, I've done another show on this, just like stating it's not China and it's the Pentagon, the United States Defense Department. And everyone's like, no, it's not, Andy. You're just a retard in a cowboy hat, which I may be, but I do know how to read. I do know how to watch videos, and I do know how to connect some dots. And everything leads to this being a Pentagon operation. So don't believe, like everything else you've seen in the news since pretty much Trump has became president. Probably since Obama became president and he amended the Smith-Month, or he modernized the Smith-Month Act, allowing the government to lie to United States citizens through the media. Ever since that moment, we have probably been being lied to. And before that, you know, pretty much since JFK got shot, in all reality. But it was deemed legal by Obama, and all hell has broken loose. And that's why you see all this like misinformation campaigns coming from Russia, China, the United States. No one really knows what to believe. That's why I have fans, you know. That's why I have an opportunity, you know. You look for a crack. Oh, there's some truth cracks I can expose in there. And that's my job as a citizen journalist, to get to the bottom of it. And we need more of us, ladies and gentlemen. So please join the club if you can. So another story. I am, by the way, going to be digging into the Ohio, Palestine, East Palestine train fiasco we got going on. Mr. Joe Biden, I'm putting the onus on that gentleman and his failed campaign promise to deliver for the rail workers and not the unions. And he definitely hasn't followed through. And I think some repercussions have happened because of that. And it's a sad state of affairs because those chemicals are off in the air and they're saying fish are dying, cattle are dying. And as I don't know if you guys have seen the map, I'm going to do this later, but you got Pittsburgh, you got the three rivers in Pittsburgh, you got the Ohio River Valley right there. This could be a natural disaster for all of us. You got just our cattle, our food, the air we breathe. Apparently pets are getting sick and pets are dying, but just like the natural food chain as well. If like there's a poisoned fish, a bird goes, eats a fish, a coyote or a fox comes up and eats a fish, they get sick, they die as well. It passes through the food chain, and this could have some serious ramifications. And the government just like went in and blew that shit up. So it's like, I don't know if there was something more to hide on the train that they were trying to cover up, but there should have been some better protocols in place than just blow a chemical mushroom cloud in the air on the border between Pittsburgh and Ohio. Unfortunately, for the first time since I've been living in Lubbock, Texas, I'm happy I live down here. I do have a lot of family and friends that are up in Ohio, so I hope they don't get sick. My dad, he's a truck driver, and he drives from Toledo to Pittsburgh every single day. And he's been doing it over the weekend, and he's actually sick, right? He's like, I just came down with this sickness, and he's not sick. I was talking to him on the phone right before this, and I was like, you've been driving past that chemical. He's like, yeah. He's like, I can see the plume in the distance. Like, it's in Ohio for sure. He's like, but I could see the plume the other day, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, that's probably why you're sick, Dad. And he's like, you actually might be right. And it's like, I'm no doctor, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, if you know what I mean. But I'm going to be digging into that in the second half, even though I just did a 5-minute spiel on it. So in other news, I wasn't going to get into the balloon either, but I got into the balloon. My entire show's falling apart now. I don't know if you guys saw Rihanna pregnant at the Super Bowl last night. How disappointing was that performance? It's sad to say, but I was actually like wanting some satanic shit. That's how low I've become. I was like, give me some material, Rihanna. And she just did this like basic, I'm pregnant. She comes out with her belly showing, I'm pregnant dance, and just waddled her ass around stage and just did this shit performance. Rihanna hasn't performed in 7 years. We can't wait. And it looked like it. There was every bit of rust. Like, she used to be able to pop lock and drop it. And she could, if she did drop it, there was no getting back up. She was looking hefty, but beautiful. She was glowing, as they say. She was just radiant and glowing. I don't want to overshoot that point. Smashing Pumpkins song. She did a Smashing Pumpkins song. I'm not sure. Total info awareness. Can't find pearls of wisdom. Jason Key. Yep. Sometimes you're not finding any pearls of wisdom when it comes to Andy Dybala. Sometimes yes, but sometimes no. I don't know if you guys have seen this one in the news the other day, but Beyonce, fresh. My speech impediment hit hard right there. Fresh. Pronounce your SH, Andy. My teacher in elementary school. Keep your tongue in the cage. And I would just look at the kids playing out at recess as I'm in speech therapy class, and I'd be like, Mom, I don't care if I have an impediment. And she was like, go run, Andy. Run with the wind. And off we are. Little did I know I'd be trying to talk on camera for a living. So thank you, Miss Kiefer, for putting up with me. But here we go. Beyonce reportedly, fresh offer. That's where this started. I can go easily off track, ladies and gentlemen. Beyonce, fresh off her record Grammy award capture. She's like she has the most Grammys of all time now. Coincidence that her husband owns a record company named Rockefeller Records, Coincidence? I think not, but either way. Beyonce, fresh off another Grammy win, she flies out to Dubai for this event. The Atlantis the Royal, for this private event, and she gets paid $24 million for one private event. Now, I don't know about you, bruh, but if I'm spending $24 million for someone to come to shake their ass on screen for me, there better be some back room champagne. What is that old Chris Rock song? Ain't no sex in the champagne room. Or Jamie Foxx or something like that. What do you think Beyonce is doing for $24 million with this Dubai prince, And this is like a story that's been told a bunch of times with these Hollywood starlets. They get paid like millions of dollars by, it's happened with J-Lo and some Russian oligarchs. It's happened with what's her name? Natalie Portman's had an incident. Like a bunch of them. They go and they have to entertain these super rich Saudi guys and these guys from Dubai, and they have these private events. And it's like, do you want to go work a movie and get shitted on reviews and Rotten Tomatoes, and then and then get paid $500,000, because women don't get paid as much as men for movies. I mean, Beyonce is making a shit ton of money for records, or do you want to go for a 2-day trip out to Dubai? You live the good life, and then next thing you know, you're walking home with $24 million. And like I said, this wasn't the first time with celebrities. Here's a little list I found. The crazy amount of money celebs get paid for private events. And you got Scott Disick goes around and gets paid for events. Does some gay shit apparently. Probably get his hand cut off if he did that in Saudi Arabia. Jennifer Lopez, the ultimate wedding singer. She sends weddings, private events, for this Russian oligarch. Ray J, Nicki Minaj has done a bunch of events. Kim Kardashian. Everyone says, how did this chick get famous? For a sex tape. She's willing to sell her body. She's willing to sell her soul. Everyone says you got to go through her mom. And Kim doesn't go anywhere without some money in her pocket. And sometimes if you're a no talent piece of shit Hollywood hack, you got to go the extra mile to earn that paycheck. Beyonce, Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, they're all skimming off the top. And you know who gets taken advantage of the most? I know all you people out there, you got some kids, they may not be looking to, goddamn ads. They may not be looking to be Hollywood starlets, but there's another route they can go. And if you got young daughters out there, be aware of this stuff. Influencers are the ones that get paid the most. I guess they get paid the least, but the most of them go out to Dubai. There's like hundreds of them that go out there, and they just get preyed upon by these Saudi and Dubai billionaires over in Russia too. Sometimes for as little as like 7,000 euros, and you always like wonder, like, how do these chicks that don't do anything all day but like take pictures for their social media, how are they like traveling around the world? How are they paying for these cars? And it's like, bingo, they're like selling themselves for clout overseas. So I think I'm gonna switch gears here before I get into. I already did the balloon. What else do I got? By the way, the balloon was like a failed, before I go on, the balloon was a failed like Raytheon venture. It was called J-Lens. How a $2.7 billion air defense system became a zombie program. It was this J-Lens, and then it kind of reincorporated itself into that Raven Aerostar, and they took a lot of technology they learned from this project, and Raven improved upon it. So how a $2.7 billion air defense system became a zombie program. J-Lens was built as an answer to an ever-expanding list of threats, from cruise missiles to explosive-laden trucks, but the blimp-borne Raider system has yet to perform as promised. And if you just like put Command F Raytheon, it'll tell you it's like Pentagon hired Raytheon for this J-Lens project, and they failed miserably, so Raven had to take it over. So there's like a couple different rabbit holes you can go down when it comes to this supposed Chinese spy balloon. But I don't know if you saw this article in the news. Where did my article go, actually? Did I just delete it? But this, I might as well skip over it now. Give me 1 second. I need to find my article about the baby box. So in Kentucky, apparently I think I just messed it up. But in Kentucky, the first baby was abandoned anonymously within this baby box, and the police department came out and found the baby, and the baby is in like safekeeping right now. And if you don't know what baby boxes are, they're like an alternative to Planned Parenthood and abortion. There's a lot of moms out there that they don't want to go through with like aborting their babies, so it is a life. So they created these baby boxes. If you believe in the Bible, you got the story of Moses. He was abandoned, put in not a box, but in a cradle, and like sent down the river, and he was just so happy he was picked up by some royals. But like I guess some Christians got together and created this baby box, and now I don't know what's gonna come out of this baby box and what happens to the babies, but apparently 22 babies have been saved, and there have been 8 this past year, and there's actually a little map, and then this kind of like surprised me. How many of them are there? Now, this is just the one point I want to make about this, people. If you're not willing to have a baby, you better be watching yourself a little bit more. Apparently, as humans, we'll take birth control, we'll have abortions, we'll put our babies in aborted baby boxes. And look how many there are throughout the country. It like started out in Indiana, and it's kind of spreading from there. You can see they got different locations throughout the United States where you can put your baby on. But like, yeah, it's just, you know, I don't want to be like the Klaus Schwab, like depopulation guy, but if you don't want to have a baby, don't be having sex, pretty much, if you know what I mean. You know, instead of like governments and tax dollars going to like shit like this and Planned Parenthood. And I did a show the other day, Susan G. Coleman's donating to Planned Parenthood. You know, sometimes a little abstinence will do you, if you know what I mean. You're not a loser. I'll just put that out. I think that's partly the thing. Like everyone thinks, if you don't have sex, you're a loser. And that doesn't, and that's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. It's better than, you're a bigger loser if you put your baby in a box, or if you're like getting like abortions on a weekly basis, like it's your job, if you know what I mean. So enough abortion talk on my show, you know, deeply political stuff that I really don't like getting into, but I got into for some reason. Why did you do that to yourself, Andy, if you didn't want to? I don't know. I know. That is actually why. Thank you. I didn't see it. Adrenochrome is people. I was going to make a joke that the babies, you know, rumor has it, I shouldn't make this joke. Rumor has it is Joe Biden gets to sniff the babies before they get shipped to the adrenochrome processing plant. I'm a terrible human being, people. Terrible. I refrained from making that joke on Twitter, but not now. Oh, we got 29 people on, 30 people on Rumble. Fernley, listening in VA, where BAE makes most of the munitions we send to Ukraine. They could come back in on the uninspected tarmac just in case they can use for fun after the fun in UK, and those are terror. NATO actually has their own like base in Virginia, I believe, as well. So make sure you, Winrose. Someone gave me $10 in Rumble. I didn't know you could make money in Rumble. So thank you for the $10 donation. Woo woo! My first donation ever. Thank you, Winrose. Andy, translate Lewd Media's video Sunday. Last week's balloon was from China's People's Liberation Army. They admitted it. No chance. Just it's from Chinese Liberation Army. I don't buy it for a single second. I've seen too much information. I've done too much research that it's coming from the United States, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. You know, that's what happens when you're me. You get stubborn on shit because you do so much research. So, getting into the Palestine train crash. I'm just going to go over a brief overview of some videos and some other things I noticed. So I guess just last year, actually, everyone likes to talk about like psyops and military live like programs and events they put on. You know, Hollywood, they're in on all of these deep state issues as well, and they're trying to push the agenda as much as they can. So apparently last year there was a movie filmed where people from East Palestine, Ohio participated in that involved a train crash, and here is the advertisement for it.
That stuff causes cancer in laboratory animals, in case you didn't know.
Either I chew gum or I smoke.
All these children, yours?
That's mine from wives 1 and 3. There's Babette's from husband 2. Wilder is ours. we're each other's force.
Life is good, Jack.
I hope it lasts forever.
Let's watch a sitcom or something.
No! They're calling it the airborne toxic event.
We won't come this way.
Will we have to leave our home?
Of course not.
How do you know?
I just know.
Okay, what if it's dangerous?
Evacuate all places of residence. So this is the end, or near to the end. Let's say
We have a situation. All we have to do is stay out of the way.
They're passing us, Dad.
Technically, that's illegal.
Do sheep have lashes?
Ask your father.
We're going sideways.
Dad, do sheep have lashes?
Doesn't anyone want to pay attention to what's actually happening? I wish there was something I could do. I wish I could outthink the problem.
There are two kinds of people in the world: killers and dyers. Most of us are dyers.
Right now we're safe. As long as the children are here, they need us.
Of some persistent sense of large-scale ruin, we keep inventing hope.
So the movie is called White Noise, and apparently it's out on Netflix right now. So I might have to go find that and watch it myself. If I can, I might do like a live broadcast on Rumble. I know YouTube will take me down, but Rumble, you might let me do some illegal streaming on your channel underneath the rug. I might have a way in. Should have done the Super Bowl commentary yesterday like I planned. So, yeah, in that movie right there, residents from East Palestine, you know, where the train crash took place over this past week, they like participated as like background actors in that movie. And like, lo and behold, a year later, like they're like, this can't, like in their heads they're like, no way this is actually real. Like, how big of a coincidence could this actually be? But it's happening. And here is a little map. I don't know if you guys have seen the coverage map of the like chemicals exposure. So if you're in Pennsylvania, Ohio, parts of Southeast, that's, see, I don't know if, let me get it on the screen. Actually, I don't have it on the screen. See, I don't know if you can see my arrow. You can't see my arrow. Right there in Toledo, where Michigan meets Ohio. That's where I was from. That's where the original neighborhood news studio was at. And it would have been on like a more diluted version of the chemical cloud hovering over the Northeast United States right now. But nevertheless, there would have been a chemical cloud hovering over our head. And yeah, you got the Ohio River right there. It's a bunch of like great farmland in Pennsylvania and Southeast Ohio and what is that, Virginia and West Virginia, parts of Kentucky. That's like very, very good farmland. And if it's being poisoned by chemicals right now, you know, that just goes into the theory that they're attacking our supply chain systems. We've seen fires at farms and factories and processing plants and food plants and all over the place. We see eggs pricing through the roofs. You're paying double for groceries nowadays. Now, like, are there going to be price repercussions for this? Like, there are definitely going to be like environmental hazards from this chemical pollution from the fish and the cattle dying. And I don't know if like the plants, if there'd be some type of plant effect, but There's definitely going to be some type of effect on our economy as well. And there's this gentleman. I'm not going to get into like the chemicals within. Damn it! Why is my stuff not working? I'm not going to get into the chemicals within the train because I'm not like a chemist or a scientist. But luckily for you and me, there are very intelligent people on the internet that are. And here you go, as this dude, Mr. Kraken, posted.
This hasn't been getting a lot of coverage, and the coverage that it has been getting hasn't been very good. So let's talk about the trail derailment in East Palestine, Ohio. East Palestine is about an hour north of Pittsburgh, almost halfway to Cleveland. Norfolk Southern has a rail line that goes right through town, and this derailment happened right on the edge outside of town on the border of PA and Ohio. Of the cars that crashed, 5 of them contained vinyl chloride. It's a monomer used to make PVC. The reporting on this has gotten vinyl chloride confused with polyvinyl chloride, the polymer made out of vinyl chloride. Now, the reason that this distinction is really important is vinyl chloride is very hazardous and very flammable. Polyvinyl chloride is a plastic that's used in like everything. The other thing about vinyl chloride is that it boils at 8 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's shipped in its liquid form, meaning that when these trains crashed and these started leaking, they weren't just leaking liquid, but they were spewing boiling gas. So vinyl chloride is really toxic. OSHA has the permissible limit of how much you can be exposed to it during an 8-hour shift as a 1 ppm part per million, average over 8 hours. So prior to this, the biggest spill of this chemical was in New Jersey, where one train car and about 23,000 gallons of vinyl chloride were spilled, but it didn't catch on fire. Now, this crash in Ohio has 5 train cars. These kinds of tanker cars can carry between 25 and 33,000 gallons. Let's call it 250 to 250,000 pounds of vinyl chloride. That's per train car, 5 train cars. There's maybe 1 million pounds of this toxic chemical spilling into the ground and also boiling off into the air. But then it caught on fire. I think this is where the reporting is really bad because no one is mentioning what the byproduct of vinyl chloride burning is. Of the many byproducts of burning vinyl chloride, one of them is hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride is really unstable and latches onto water, like just water vapor in the atmosphere, and that turns into hydrochloric acid. So right now, government officials from the railroad, both the governor of Pennsylvania and Ohio are calling burning off the 1 million pounds of this stuff a success, but not mentioning that it means that we have hundreds of thousands of pounds of acid in the air, potentially. Now, ever since engineering school, I've studied a lot of industrial accidents. I just find it really fascinating, and organizations like the Chemical Safety Board, NTSB, and OSHA all have like really good reports available to the public. I think as a designer, it's really good to learn about mistakes. When looking at these kinds of industrial disasters across time, there are a couple things that are pretty universal across all of them. One, the responsible party, in this case, Norfolk Southern Railway, always plays down the reality of the situation. Politicians also just repeat the same lines, and then news outlets just repeat the same. So all we're hearing is the responsible party's word.
So all you're hearing is the responsible party's word, just like what's going on with China and the weather balloon. They're not really responsible. But the train, that guy broke down. I'm not like a chemist. Thank God that guy's an engineering student that broke it down for you guys. But pretty much there's a toxic chemical cloud hovering over Ohio and Pennsylvania. Now, I'm almost done with my brief touch-up, I should say. I just want to show you like a little video that this is having some ramification to our wildlife, even at the moment. It's like not going to be like 2 years down the line. This is like right now. They got people in the rivers like fishing out the dead fish because, you know, you don't want other animals eating the fish because those animals could die as well. But here they are.
You guys scooping out all the dead ones.
Trying to. Everyone's now, if you're out there and reporting on this stuff, don't act like these guys, these hazardous workers, are like the enemies. They're just out there part of the cleanup crew, so don't be harassing them. Everyone just let them do their job and try to clean up the mess as best they can. But there are dead fish in the water. There's been reports of dead cattle, and pets have been getting sick, and some have been dying in the area as well. I do have a video to play for you at the end of this. And like I said, my dad, he's a truck driver that drives from Toledo to Pittsburgh every day, and he saw all this explosion. He saw like the shroom cloud as he was driving along the expressway, and he's sick today, and he's thinking about calling off work tomorrow. So it's it's like could be dealing with my own personal repercussions from this goddamn thing, just because my dad chooses trying to go to work every day and pay the bills. It's all we're trying to do here, people. We quit trying to take advantage of us, government and corporations and NGOs and CIA. My girlfriend asked me, why do you got to blame everything on the CIA? What'd they do? They're just trying to protect us. And I just didn't even want to get into the checklist of things the CIA has done wrong. But I was just pretty much, ever since they shot JFK, it's been downhill since then, pretty much. And it's tough trying to get people to break out of the mindset that some of these politicians are actually in it for us. No, they aren't. Like the media, when you watch CSNBC and NBC and Today's Show, and they're just getting paid, and they're doing their talking points. They're just collecting a check. So don't think a lot of these people are saints. I did that Ben Stiller commercial. It's like a lot of these people, they'll sell their souls like Beyonce did to Dubai princes, just for a paycheck. That's pretty much what we got going on. So don't believe everything you see in the media. America, as Norman likes to say. So the point I'm trying to make with this train derailment, saw that guy at the end of the video there. He says the responsible party is the only news you hear. That's Norfolk Southern. That's only news you hear. The politicians repeat what the Norfolk Southern is saying, and then MSN repeats what the politicians are saying. So that's kind of the channel you get. And I just want to remind everyone, don't forget that leading up to the midterm elections, it was a big talking point of the Biden team was the rail workers strike and trying to avert the strike and get the deal done. So the rail companies and the workers are all happy. And guess what didn't happen, ladies and gentlemen? Joe Biden definitely did not get the job done. So here's a little article. Biden signs bill averting rail workers strike despite lack of paid sick days. So he signed this bill anyway. And what the rail workers actually wanted, what they were fighting for, was these sick days. Now I have a different article here I'm going to put on the screen that explains why they needed the sick days so much. So just keep in mind, the rail workers in this article, rail workers tried to warn us that the Ohio train derailment would happen. An inter-union alliance of rail workers says the train wreck, man, I can't do my R's tonight. The tongue twist in me. Train wreck happened due to antiquated regulation and corporate malpractice. So if you Google down here, it gets into the fiery train derailment that led to thousands being forced to evacuate their homes in East Palestine, Ohio, didn't have to happen. This is what the workers of Railroad Workers United, or RWU, Inter-Union Caucus, argue. And they warn, if action is not taken against corrosive industry trends, the Ohio disaster will be one of more to come. Like, is this a threat? Rail workers, people, was this accident done on purpose? Because, you know, their rights weren't met, and Biden promised those rights being met, and they definitely weren't. So on February 3rd, and I'll get into more, a 150-car Norfolk Southern train derailed near the Ohio town, blah, blah, blah. You guys all know this stuff. The RWU argues that antiquated regulation and corporate malpractice led to the potentially generationally damaging incident. I can't speak tonight. A primary culprit being precision scheduled railroading, or PSR. The practice, dubbed by some workers as positive shareholder reaction, you know, they're trying to boost them the quarterly income, the quarterly profits, manages freight movement by the individual car level as opposed to the whole train. So they're not like focusing on the big picture. They're like, what's this individual car doing? It needs to get on the move so it can get to its place, get unloaded, and we can get it reloaded and make more money. Ensuring train cars are constantly on the move. In practice, this has cut jobs, consolidated dispatch centers, and made trains less safe, as fewer workers have less time to conduct checks on more trains. Based on its analysis, the RWU says the immediate cause of the wreck appears to have been a 19th century style mechanical failure of the axle on one of the cars. An overheated bearing leading to derailment and then jackknifing tumbling cars. Moreover, the train appeared to have had its collective weight unbalanced. Prior to PSR, the caucus said trains would be built with the heavier cars on the head and lighter ones bringing up the rear. Such a practice would prevent what happened in Ohio. Heavier cars slamming into lighter ones in front of them, causing the exact jackknifing that occurred last week. The train allegedly had 40% of its weight on the rear 1/3 of the train. Fortunately, despite these failures, the train's 3-person crew was able to quickly mobilize together and minimize the damage. This is what they're reporting, as railroads have brazenly proposed cutting crews to just one member. Thank goodness that was not the case here. So they're saying, thank goodness there's at least 3 on the job right now. So this train, I do actually have a video of the back part being on fire here. This train had all of its weight loaded on the rear, and it had a broken axle. Like, that's multiple things that's like, what the hell are you guys doing here? And apparently it drove with like the broken axle for a while, and this was caught on like a Ring DoorDash cam. As the train goes by, it's caught on fire, just burning up that axle, and it's going to break, and all that load in the back is going to come crashing forward. It jackknifes, it falls off the rails after that. Now, if you're, you know, an angry union worker, and you didn't get your needs met, I don't want to say this was like actually like done on purpose, because I don't know if they thought there'd be this many like repercussions of the accidents with the chemical exposures and the explosion and what it will do to nature and the rest of our industries and economy. Like, it could be huge. I don't think they knew that this would happen exactly, but keep in mind, you know, Joe Biden's, you know, his home state, Pennsylvania, I think if they were going to make this, they wanted it to be in Pennsylvania. It might have happened a little bit early. It was right on the border, but all the effects are felt in Pennsylvania. And if you want knowing, then the excuse me, dry throat, need a drink here. The rail workers, they're saying, did their job. It's all under wraps. And you know what came out of this whole ordeal, ladies and gentlemen? Just 7 days. 7 days after this crash, what happens? The first rail company caters to the rail workers. Rail unions reach deal with CSX Railroad for paid sick time. So, there's a big crash that makes national headlines. There's chemical fumes spreading across there. And the rail workers, they're blaming Biden not getting the job done and them not having their paid sick time and this practice of having less people on the job, less people doing checks and so on. Like they have to work more pretty much. So there's less people doing more work. So they're sick of it and they want their paid sick time. So there's this big national crash and right next to Joe Biden's home state who failed to get the job done right before the midterms. And 7 days later, one company starts to tumble, CSX. Now, Norfolk Southern, they haven't tumbled yet, and some other of these rail companies haven't tumbled yet. But my prediction, Andy Dybala's prediction, we're going to keep track of it on the show moving forward. Andy Dybala's prediction is that we're going to see a lot more companies following suit and caving into the rail workers and giving them their paid sick time because they don't want a train blowing up. And if you're a conspiracy theorist that believes into them trying to mess up our food supply chain, then this just kind of falls into that category as well. So go ahead and sorry, I just got a message. Not gonna read that one. But I believe it is, what is it, an hour and 12 minutes? That is the end of Live with Andy Dybala, ladies and gentlemen. At least this episode, it's not the end of my life, or at least I hope not. I hope I don't get a knock on my door from the CIA agent. How do you like the cowboy hat, by the way? Howdy doody, folks. Ding! Bing! It is fun. I do like the cowboy hat. With the beard. It's a great look. Now I just need a horse. Cowboy without a horse. He's all hat, no cattle, ladies and gentlemen. You can officially say that about me. It rings true. If I'm assuming one of you people out there were saying that. Man, that guy looked like he hadn't ridden a horse in his life. You're actually wrong about that. I have ridden plenty of horses, but I currently do not have a horse and I have a cowboy hat. So let that be known. That's who you're getting your information from, people. Down here in Lubbock, Texas. Go Chiefs, go Patrick Mahomes. Pray for my dad. Hopefully he doesn't get any sicker. Driving past that toxic cloud every day. They mentioned Airborne Toxic Event. I think that's a band. Airborne Toxic Event. They got a pretty good song, if I remember correctly. Forget the name of it off the top of my head, but go check out Airborne Toxic Event. Marshall, and if you're in the chat, say bye. I'll put you on the screen. Marshall, Andy, thanks for tuning in, Taz. Let there be light. Adios, amigos. Let Germany have these chem industries. Yeah, they've bombed enough people in this world and killed them. We don't need them to have any more. Short staff was dangerous. They were forced to work long stretches with no time off. That is true. That's what the rail unions were fighting against. Thank you. You are welcome, Sue Reisiger. CIA equals corporate corruption in action. Norman Smith, always blessing us with his present. Disintante instante. Last Friday on the skies of Long Island, New York, I saw on my windshield how bad the skies had been sprayed. My windshield turned like a mirror due to how thick was the acid being spread. That does make sense. You get them chemicals raining down. You got Bambi. William Squires, loner on the leading edge, chatting to myself. Well, William Squires on Facebook, come over to YouTube. Come over to Rumble, add Andy Dybala. There'll be a little more. I do get a lot of viewers on Facebook, but I think it's like after the fact. But if you want the live chat, you got to go Rumble. You got to go YouTube. And people in Rumble. Hello from Southeast Ohio, Irish Girl. Thanks for covering the train derailment. Little Galaxy, Final Chloride, Ethylene Glycol, monobutyl ether. Sear 174. What's going on? Why can't I put these on the screen? Can I put these on the screen? I'll have to figure that out at a later date. But Rumble, get your shit together with StreamYard and do your like interlinking things so I can put Rumble people in the chat on the screen. It would be great. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, it is my off day tomorrow on the podcast stream, but it is not my off day in the gym. Make sure you're getting the pump. You get the pump, ladies and gentlemen, or you become a weak, puny boy. You know what I mean? You got to get your big muscles strong. You know, if you want America and our freedoms to last forever, we can't have a bunch of little beta boys protecting our country on our keyboards. You know, I do a little keyboard protecting myself. But I'm armed and dangerous, if you know what I mean, man. I actually don't have any guns. I'm a cowboy with no guns and no cattle. That's the end of my show, folks. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. See you here on Rumble, YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook live. And if you want to watch my restream, you can go to an audio app. You know, if you're driving down the road, working tomorrow, if you're doing laundry. Did you see my little laundry video I made where I was folding laundry, telling you about the news for the show today? Know what I mean, man? If you want to listen to this beautiful, wonderful, sultry voice of Andy Dybala in your ears, you can go to Apple Podcast app, Spotify, and Google Music, Pandora. You can go to all of them, and you can find me, Andy Dybala. Thank you for tuning in. Love you guys. Hope you love this show. Don't forget to give me a like, subscribe, and a share.